courses are coming up. Fresh graduates are slowly trying to move away from the conventional, the engineering backgrounds or the technology backgrounds to, have more in go into niche field or a specialized field. And cybersecurity is one of them. Now it is an, like as Aishwarya mentioned, and I will also mention a couple of times, that's an ever evolving, ever changing, very dynamic domain. Because as an example, I hope that majority of us are not using a mobile which is 3 to 4 year old. There must be reason for fashion, trend, processing, and everything, but there is one more reason hidden somewhere, that's it cannot comply to the latest security requirement. Okay, so that's how. If you look back 10 years, you look back 5 years, if you imagine 5 years ahead, the chip size is getting down and down, and the processing power is getting, twice as it. The screen size is also growing. So everything is, rapidly changing, technology wise. So we are always lagging behind. As a learner, I can say for myself, I also lag behind, but I just try to, keep up, because it's not something I've learned today will be useful for next, but it obviously builds up upon that. Demand is growing in cybersecurity. You can check out for yourself. No professional is required to confirm that. Uh, as I mentioned, it is again a challenging domain as well as it is a rewarding domain also. So if it's, is it a perfect fit for you? That you have to figure it out. Okay, but I can say, yeah, it can accommodate you. It's a very welcoming domain. It has accommodated so far very non-technical people, technical people. Just go on and search any report from any country. You will see the migration happening. People are getting roles in security are only the worker which are existing and doing something. Somebody from database, somebody into, change management or some other. There are tutors which were teaching ITIL or other soft skill. They kind of improvised and they are now teaching security stuff. So it's very welcoming. As we move ahead, so I want to mention something about the theme of this presentation. It's more or less like a content, or you can say layout or a roadmap. We will keep focus on the relevance. Is it really relevant for you? Is this presentation is really good? Not good, I would say it's really applicable to you. What are the ongoing trends? Do we need to understand? Yes, we do need to understand cybersecurity. What are the entry points? What are the skill required? What exactly are the job roles? You can see if you try to apply or just, try to gauge an information, what are the job roles? What are the resources available as a person, free, paid, and what is the conclusion we get from this presentation? So I've tried to summarize, but obviously this is not everything which I can say, but at least you'll get something out of it. There are important takeaways from this presentation, and I hope that they will be beneficial for you. Let's look around what's happening globally first. Obviously, there are news you get on and off. So I've just collected, like before coming to the call, I created that. Let's look around what actually happened in 2024 or late 2023. So you can see in the United Kingdom there was a recent attack last month. It was a ransomware attack. Basically, the attackers have compromised data. They have leaked out some data. They have stolen the data, and they are threatening the government or the establishment that they will leak out more data. In the Europe, UK, or I would say US region, privacy is a bigger concern, much bigger concern than India. India is growing on privacy, but we'll not mix privacy and security. They're both separate, but yes, we're very much intertwined. Okay, you achieve privacy through security, but it is not security. So there were blood test appointments. So there was a firm which used to schedule, blood test appointment, any other appointments for the UK residents. The data got leaked. Because of that, the 400 GB data was exfiltrated from the organization because of some vulnerability or some gap, or somebody didn't do his job or her job properly or whatever. And because of this, there were a lot of postpone, and there were a lot of, delays in operation schedules, normal blood test schedules, which people were suffering and requiring. They were critical, and it has got delayed. Luckily, there is no fatality or anything happened, casualty yet. But again, it is a big warning and a big concern. I also checked out India geography, like what's happening. So latest was a Noida person who was offered as a work from home opportunity, was somehow tricked into a cyber fraud. He was given some sort of, I'm not sure about the exact detail, but I know that 20 lakh rupees, Indian rupees, were, stolen from his account, and because of this cyber fraud, as he was given some work from home opportunity. You can look out for yourself. If you look in the Middle East, which is more reliant, the critical infrastructure is energy and oil, gas. So they're very much concerned as they're a bigger supplier and exporter. So they have, kind of, if you go and check around on the internet, they have reported that there were multiple data breach recorded as and when the war has started, and slowly it's progressing. You can see a lot of advanced persistent threat, which I've written APT. They have been reported that they have a lot of infection in their systems and they need to clean it up. So they are removing, replacing, and doing all sorts of stuff. In US, a latest cyber attack happened on a kind of popular auto dealer in one of the states, CDK. The system was got compromised. All their auto deliveries, the data which they have of their customers were leaked. Now they are replacing completely their system because they cannot get back to in the system. It's just like your laptop got compromised. Nobody can fix it. You have to actually throw that and buy a new one. So in on an individual scale, it looks small, but on a company or enterprise wide, it's a big, big expense. One must think after hearing that, what is the commonality of mentioning so many cyber attacks or so many things here? If you see here, what I see common to put all this, why I haven't included other news from Australia or New Zealand. I could have, obviously, but why I haven't? Because I think that in this four attacks, you can see it is not restricted to any individual. It is not restricted to it any organization. You can see the variety from a small business to any individual person to a big corporation, big energy provider, suppliers. It's growing across. They are having problem. They are having problem. So what you and me can do, obviously individually, what if we are working for them, we can work as a team, we can support, we can fulfill the commitments to maintain security posture. As an individual, what should we do? We'll look ahead. Last presentation showed us how the attack is happening on multiple um, attack points. I would say that they are people I like an individual, small business, and everything. If you look around in this presentation, I've tried to keep as much thing as important, like their files, their online contracts, their systems, their privacy related data. There are emails which are fake or real. There are other systems. There are mobile. There is cloud. Everything is connected now online. Everything has an IP address. Everything is, I'm not saying hackable, everything is reachable. If security posture is not maintained, if proper assessments are not done, if we don't have specific boundaries to protect them, there are high chances that it might get compromised. Even if it doesn't get compromised, there are high chances an audit or anything will find out that gap and might penalize. Okay. If everything is online, then let's make online secure. That's the motto I want to bring. Try to understand from that lens. There are many reasons, why cybersecurity is a great career. As I also mentioned about fresh graduates, it's ever going landscape. It basically translates to a competitive salary, benefits. It gives you financial rewards, and it always makes you feel that you are doing something good. Obviously, there are boring jobs in security. There are very exciting jobs, but it doesn't remain the same. It keeps on changing. Okay. To make cybersecurity as a career, it allows you to make a real difference. Sometimes we believe that my work, my impact should be seen at the end user. That gives you satisfaction, so that you can see in cybersecurity, and there are multiple ways to do that. Okay. Again, uh, it offers a wide range of career paths. I'm not here to enroll you or to tell you that go for cyber security, but I'm a professional, so I can tell you it's something you should think about as a career or as a passion if you follow it, whichever area interests you. All right. Okay. So this is the trend. I again went to a lot many reports. I also checked into what other you know data houses or any other what you say survey houses are saying about security. So if you go online and just try and search that IT jobs, not even IT security, IT jobs in 2022, 23, 24, prediction for 25, you will find these the map, the balls. You can see the colorful balls, the circles. They will be about DevOps. It will be about change management, technical managers, cybersecurity, developer, artificial intelligence, machine learning. What else? Application, cloud computing. So you see, cybersecurity is part of it. It's among first five, first 10, or more or less first 15. On the left hand, these survey houses, I've tried to mention them. You can take a snapshot, go back and check it if you want. You can validate this information. and it is more of UK and Europe geography. But if you want to check Philippines, India, Thailand, Japan, or you want to check New Zealand or US, it will be more or less same. I'm not saying that cybersecurity offers as much vacancies as a developer in IT would offer. No, it's not like that. It's more of a role of a support role. If you're not in a specific, as a service provider industry which offers cybersecurity services, then definitely you are part of a bigger or corporation where IT department or a security department is there and people work in a team. So the ratio usually what I have noticed, or I can say at the moment, is around 6 to 7% of the organization, or less than 5% around. There is still shortage. Now question comes in mind, okay, if there's a shortage, Abhishek, I'm just a fresher, and or maybe I'm doing something from last 5 years, would I be get a manager job? Answer would be probably there are less chances. But I would say, if you start strategizing your career path, how would you like to approach ahead, there are high chances that you will get an entry point. I can commit to that you will get an entry point as a manager level or something. In the later slides we will see what all entry points are there. Ashwara, if any question comes up, please let me know. Okay. Now,
Sure.
I consider this slide as the most important. Others are also important, but this is something which anybody who has joined later haven't heard what I've told, or anybody was sleeping by now or just got woken up. So it's very important to listen, understand this particular slide. All this, the complete objective of this presentation or whatever I'm saying will revolve around all these three factors, which I consider. Somebody can come up with one, two more, or it doesn't matter at this moment. But if you focus on these three factors, it will definitely help you out. Number one is having an understanding of what job role and job market looks like. If I want to start a career, if you as a you like individual start fresher or a 3 year experience, 2 year, 5 year, somebody from commerce, somebody from somewhere else, or just want to transition as from non-IT to IT, what exactly job roles or how the job market looks like. So you have to keep that in mind. How do you get that information? Obviously, you go to LinkedIn, you go to other websites like Indeed, monster.com, or any other website. I'm not promoting them, but you can get a little bit of idea. Just go through, skim through the job roles, responsibility, duties. You will understand, okay, this is required, and I kind of fulfill 10% of it, maybe 40% of it, or maybe more than 80% of it, or you'll get an idea how to build it. Second is, I would ask on the extreme left side is skills and experience. Now, this is something you have to build. Sometimes people are able to leverage their old experiences. Like I mentioned, somebody's doing something in IT only, plus 5 years experiences. So that can become as an average. He can leverage that. He or she can leverage that. You have any other experience you were doing individually or of your own, like practicing doing, you have your own system, you were just doing something online, you learned something, that's your experience, that's your skill. Okay. You can also attain some skill and experience by going some skills by having certain certification, some short-term courses or long-term courses, or whichever suits your availability or lifestyle. So you can build up little bit, build up. You can't just move into the domain unless and until you are very fortunate, which I wish you all should be. But again, let's say if you are not completely out of if you're completely out of touch of this domain, probably you need some sort of skill and experiences, and they will start with a lot of learning and doing certain certifications or courses. Last, which I think people ignore, I also have ignored sometime, and it comes keeps coming back to me because it it promotes and kind of fortifies the word which I used earlier: ever evolving, ever changing. So cybersecurity knowledge is very important. Start reading newsletters, that will give you a good idea. Have a little bit touch of what's going on. Reading just newspaper and news about cyber crime will not definitely help you to get into any job, as I believe it might. Maybe for lawyers and somebody who are from cyber law background and they want to have a little bit touch of technology. But I think most you have to read a little bit of technology and technical perspective what's going on. There are ample of newsletter houses, which probably can help you. They come weekly, daily, any frequency, and if you go through them, you will obviously build your knowledge and you are abreast of latest. And these are very good important tips during interviews, because not everything goes by definition, tell me this, tell me that. Okay, people do like to check your knowledge, how abreast you are of the latest what's happening. So I hope you understood this presentation and what's going to come up, what I have told before this presentation and what I'm going to tell you after this slide. Everything relates. If you keep these three factors in the mind, try to relate them. Okay. So we'll go to the last factor, which is what is cybersecurity? And next four slides, I'm going to give you some sort of technological definitions, some sort of, uh, little bit of, how would I say, touch of what exactly in technological terms it is. This might go as a bummer or a bouncer to you, but okay, I understand that. At least you would be aware of it. So, what is cybersecurity? It is the practice of maintaining confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Though it's not written what I said, but you can just make it out. Okay. We are trying to prevent, we are trying to detect, we are trying to respond, and we are trying to recover. So prevent, detect, respond, recover. And we are doing everything by maintaining a governance model. So I've explained everything in just few words, but there are systems, there are networks, there are compromises which are happening. Okay. If you are accessing through your laptop right now, that would be much easier. You can go and you might see zoom.com from your application. Just click on the SSL certificate. It will show you the connection is secure. So even current real time, we are leveraging security. We are doing something as a security. We are using controls so that this particular presentation or a cover conference does not get compromised. So only authorized users are coming in. You have your ID, password. There is some sort of security involved if you look clearly. Okay, just pay attention. Next, I'm not consumed much space here. Obviously infographics have eaten consumed much of the space, but I want to mention a little bit of thing which I want to voice over it. It involves range of activities apart from this confidentiality, integrity, availability. Security teams are involved in threat detection, threat analysis, reverse engineering. They're also involved in vulnerability assessment, penetration testing, incident response, change management, and at the end, they're also involved into security awareness training programs. The one thing which I mentioned in my last presentation, cybersecurity knowledge. So corporates also do, they pay heavily, they buy subscription of multiple service provider. One service provider I can mention you is KnowBefore. You can just go there, try any website, just demo, just go through the learning material. It's very good. Somebody who's trying to make a career in training and awareness could also help. It is not necessary that you come from a technological background, but obviously you have to little bit transition yourself into security. So it's a big market, very big market. There are multiple number of now series like Netflix and Amazon Prime. Service providers are producing series season by season, how to watch, how, what is insider threat, what is security. It's so interesting to watch, then answer question. So it is quite interactive. It's just not monologue. You have to submit your responses, you can ask questions. So this is also evolving. Everybody's leveling up their game. So go have a look. If you're not a technical logical person, it is the best thing I would say, just to go have a look and think about this career, maybe as a side hustle or something you can go. I think there's a little bit of delay in the transition of presentation. Sorry for that. Can't help. Now, from enterprise wide, you can look at from your individual person also, that what are the cybersecurity protection methods we have. Okay, what are the protection methods? So some of the key methods to protect against cyber threat includes, obviously it's just a long list, but something I want to mention is anti-malware. Like we used to use 300 rupees or 100 500 rupees of antivirus CD or software in our laptop, which used to show everything secure, but again, we knew that our computer was infected. So not like that, not a cheap version, but yes, because a lot of ransomware is also a malware. So to protect from any sort of malware, corporates does use anti-malware software. Its job is to verify signature and of any malicious software and kind of block it or quarantine it. Next is MFA. It's a very popular term nowadays, multi-factor authentication. It is similar to your bank transaction when you want to transfer money, not from your GPay or UPI. I'm not talking from your bank website when you're doing some heavy account transaction or you're trying to change your profile details, or you're adding a new user, or any sort of, it does include an OTP, one time password or one time passcode or passkey comes to you. So it works like something you know, something you are, or something you have. So it also includes biometrics, it includes your phone, and it includes your password. So multi-factor authentication can be 2FA, it can be 3FA, three factor. So this is how, if you can see in the infographic, it shows a thumbprint, that is something you are, something you know, and something you have, like a mobile or a, you know, or something you know is like a password. Next is encryption. Easiest way to understand, I believe everybody here has a smartphone and they're using WhatsApp. If you go and WhatsApp, you will see that WhatsApp, how they promote security. Uh, what security brings to the table, if I ask, if I may ask. Okay, I'll answer that. Security brings some sort of trust. You won't be investing, you won't be depositing, you won't be buying any service or your money or anything. You will be investing in a bank or a service provider which got recently compromised, or which gets compromised usually, their security. Why would you do that? Okay, so it's that's the direct impact. When we believe in security, when we have a trust on security, that means our personal thing, it can be your money, it can be your details, it can be anything, your files are secure. So security build some sort of trust. It brings a, a trust to the table. Now to bring trust, people advertise. If you see Apple phones, they say Apple is privacy, Apple is security. So they are relating, trying to equate. If you buy Apple, it means security. You check out your WhatsApp, go into the chats, you will see end-to-end encryption. End-to-end encryption. Your chats are safe, your chats are secured. Why they are trying to do that? It's good they are doing that, but I'm saying why they are trying to do, because they want to showcase that we have everything safe and completely, free from any malicious activity or malicious software. It's not corrupted. It is there as it to be, and it is performing as it's intended to perform. Coming back to encryption, what is encryption? Encryption is simply making plain text, readable text, into unreadable format. So it's kind of a lock with two keys, one you got, one I got, and there is no third person involved. So if I log the information, means I'm just gonna scramble it, the information. You at the end when receive it, you will have that scramble information, and you can unlock or reverse it to make it readable. Anybody who in between tries to perform a man in the middle attack or try to snoop it or sniff it, they will get the information, but they will not be able to read a, a kind of jumbled or a scrambled information. It's not in a readable format. So that's the advantage of using encryption. There are ample opportunities in encryption field. It's in network. It's very good for PhD candidates if you go into encryption and all, because company which are in research, let's say IBM, Intel, or even Apple or Google, who are specializes or sell their encryption products, they kind of focuses very high on encryption technologies and everything. So if you are very strong at mathematics and you have a desire to go into security, I would highly recommend you to look into any PhD or master's courses, which will give you project opportunity in the encryption domain. Okay, cryptography. It's called cryptography. So it has both encryption and decryption. So cryptography is something where you will, try to evolve more. There is cryptanalysis also, where you try to break cryptography. So it's a huge field, huge field. Some of the institute, I forgot the name, in Kolkata. There is an institute which it's a government run funded, state funded institute, which also provides 6 month of internship or 1 year internship in cryptography. Sorry, yeah, it's in cryptography, network security or cryptography. So have a look about it. If you are a student and you want to add up more skills in your CV, or use it just for your learning purposes, it can be a good option. Next, if we have so much protection in method place, is it enough to just have this protection methods and just think or assume that we are secure, we are safe, we're done? Well, uh, you cannot. There is no limit of that. Okay, it depends on how secure you are having, how what is the value of the asset which you're trying to secure. The more valuable it is, the more security you will put in. Okay, take an example of gold. Where do you keep your gold? Obviously in the most safest lock or bank of, or in bank or in your house, at the end of the house, like And something which is not valuable, like a receipt or something, it can be used in future. You just put in drawer and just leave it or take a snap of it. So security also differs from what is the value of the asset you're trying to protect. And you cannot put control or security more valuable than the asset. It doesn't make sense. If there is no return on investment or it's not cost benefit. So that's how the variation happens. And it also affects the number of professional or employees the organization want to hire. If they have huge projects, if they have really critical project, they will have requirements according to that only. And it fluctuates. It obviously fluctuates according to the projects or according to the security target or aspirations they have. Now, some of the best practices, which are all these best practices can be implemented individually. You can do at your home also, but I have just mentioned it from the enterprise wide because this is something which, as an enterprise, they do on a regular basis. So let's read out what are they. Obviously, everybody is required to update your software regularly, and when they say software is regularly, there are a lot of system in an organization. If you get a chance, just search network architecture or IT architecture online, you will see there are a lot of components which have an operating system, which do not have an operating system, but they need some sort of update. They have different version release, so they should be updated always. Okay. Use a strong and unique password, because nowadays there are tools which can crack your password. They can perform some brute force attack, and password can be cracked. So it's always good to have long password, complicated passwords, and you know educate employees not to write down their password or share the password among the employees. It's such a huge, and I would say a common practice among I can share one incident with you. It's not related to any organization and I don't want to reveal the name, but I can tell you there was a clinic which used to offer some services to the patient, and it has a system where they used to enter name of the patients with their blood health group and everything. Now, what the nurses used to do, they obviously have their individual ID to log in. But if somebody's attending someone and you need to add a patient or just put a receipt, the earlier nurse used to forgot to log out or switch their account. The new nurse came and just started doing everything on their account. So patient information got revealed. They were able to access their own personal individual profile. And one person which is not there, they never logged out, and they were using that same ID for close to a month. So this is a policy violation. Just to make sure that the accountability is set in an organization, security team always want to know who has logged, who has done that, who did that, when and why. And for that, you need to have your own unique ID. You need to have your own unique password. Group password, group ID used to be a thing in IT. I can tell you back like 5 years back also it's used to be a thing. But now group IDs are slowly diminishing, and group passwords has completely gone out as per my knowledge. There can be some, but it is highly not recommended to use group passwords. So each person's password is different and it's unique to them, and then they need to keep on changing. Okay. Educate yourself and employees about cyber fraud, cyber attacks. Is the same thing I said. There is always an element of learning, knowledge sharing, knowledge increasing, and how do you cope up with the ever changing environment. So this is again a key area, like I mentioned. These are one of the best practices. So tutors, if they're part of this chat or this presentation, make sure that you do look out. Backup data regularly. Why backup data regularly? What happens because of that? As I mentioned, nowadays, earlier when ransom attack, 3 or 4, 5 years back, there was an attack in Kerala Police Department. I remember it very well. It was 2017 or 16. So Kerala Police Department, complete all the laptops were attacked by a ransomware. They cannot access the information, they cannot communicate, or maybe other details they have. What they did, they have to actually throw and sell off all the laptop, and they have to buy new ones. But some of the laptops they did backup. So like they did the backup in the last night, and today morning attack happened. They had the data for the last night, but they didn't do it for the complete systems, IT systems of that police station. So this was a learning session. Only 20 or 25% of laptops and their systems were recovered. Rest 75 they have to reinvest because it was logged by the attackers and they were asking hefty money to unlock it, which obviously is not an option, and I don't want to get into that. So that's why backup is regularly. Some of you might be thinking, oh, that's good. That's how I back up my WhatsApp chat or Gmail account, which is good practice. Good. That's actually a good thing. And it helps you whenever you change your mobile or something. You can see that you get almost all your data. Okay. Maybe for some of you, it might be like too much of security, but trust me, this is the last slide. We'll go back again to how to, have more knowledge in cybersecurity, how to enter into cybersecurity. But you should know this, I believe. Now, the last part which I want to explain is obviously having so many security measures, having so many controls. Does it stop? Does things stop? If an organization get compromised once, like that's over for the whole life. It doesn't get compromised second time. It does get compromised for 5 times or 10 times, but in a different format, different way, and with different impact. Like I mentioned, ever evolving. It's not only technology evolving, it's criminals exploitation is also evolving, response is also evolving. So that's why it's ever evolving. The attacks, the tools which were used 5 or 6 years back are no more usable. No more. If you see in the physical world, police, military, which were using rifles 10, 20 years back, they are still usable. They are replacing it, but it has a life, long life. I know the enemy or any perpetrators or bad people who have malicious intent, they are still, developing on technology. But you see the protection and the response measure we have is still more or less the same, but it doesn't work in the security. It has to, we are obviously, we means I would say the attacks and the landscape, threat landscape is ahead of the response always. So, we're trying to catch up and there is legality also involved, which is, again, behind of it. So it's kind of intertwined in between. Now, coming back to how do you respond to a cyber incident? What is a cyber incident? Like I mentioned, a ransomware is a cyber incident. Somebody's laptop got stolen in the train, in the aeroplane, or somewhere else. Somebody's password got compromised. Somebody cannot access their laptop. Critical information is stolen or logged. Even if there is a fire, let's say you're working, there's a fire. God forbid that should not happen, but there's a fire in the server room. It is also a cyber incident. Okay. Anything which brings down the availability of the systems, confidentiality and integrity is an incident. And there should be a response plan, obviously, because once an incident happened, we can't just sit and what to do. And if we dial, what do you call that, 100, 111, 999 or any number, they are not going to come and help you out. You should have a response plan. And I'm saying not from an individual perspective, I'm talking from the enterprise perspective. Why this slide is important? Because there are a lot of opportunities in incident management also, which you will see in the later part. Why this is important? Because a huge number of openings usually come in the incident management team, because day and on and off, a lot of incident happens and they work in rotation like a 24/7 shift. So they need at least, people on rotation to fulfill the job requirement. So I have seen a lot of number in terms of volume. Most of the people do enter in the incident management or security operations centers, which is called. What these guys do, what they do, they basically identify and isolate threats, and they kind of try to reverse engineer it or at least quarantine it and notify or report them. They communicate with the security team and stakeholders, as I mentioned, if they found out something malicious or how to fix that. So at a different level, L1, L2, L3. So they kind of work with the enterprise very closely on any violations. If any ransomware attack has happened, they would definitely help in data recovery, backups. If there is an update which completely got messed up, a rollback has to be done, they help in that. If the data has to be recovered, they help in that. If there's a disaster, then they help in disaster recovery. And overall, they work in improving and not, I wouldn't say implementing, but improving the overall security policies because they see the implementation. Everybody can take a relief who were kind of got overwhelmed with the technological aspects I've mentioned. We are moving on to the next, again, everything is important. Next, different side of security. How would you get in? What are the entry points? Okay. So as I mentioned, I've already described about why cybersecurity knowledge is important. I've mentioned about skills, experience. I've also mentioned about the entry points or the job role. So now the cybersecurity part is over. We will now look what are the roles, jobs, their description, what they work. How would I, or as a you or anybody's interested, can enter? What are the options available? So far, if you have felt that this is an exciting field, I can work into it. It looks good. So this is a diagram which I made up. If you see the I will stick to a very smaller portion, that is corporate job, let's say, because I work in a corporate, so I kind of promote that. Uh, so how do you land a corporate job? I'm not going to teach you the interview skills, the analytical skills, the interview skills, or any other skills which you require, but I can tell you the path. If you see everything in the pink, which is internship, graduate, short-term course, your master's course, post-graduation, any self-taught or you're self-learned or held by your big brother or sister, or you're being guided by someone else, there are certifications. So if you see, these are the enablers which will help you to go closer, to cracking a job in the corporate. They can definitely help you. What all options I have in graduation, I'm not sure whether any institute in India or anywhere else, maybe probably anywhere else, does offer bachelor's degree. But in masters, there are courses in India which are offered in security. Abroad also there are a lot of courses. Self-taught, let's not get into that. That's probably obviously, there are a lot of YouTube channel. There are different channel, different professionals who are teaching. You can start your journey like after 1 hour from after this presentation if you want. You can start building up a little bit of basic. You would need help. This is not just one solution. You need multiple options like this. you know Next is certifications. I too need a certification, because to keep relevant, to keep showing that I'm up to date, up mark with what's going on. And certifications do help because they help you to refresh your knowledge and experience you have gone. Some of the key certifications are very come with a very prerequisite. You cannot go and achieve a certification. You can give an exam, but there are certain certifications which requires 3 years of experience, 5 years of experience in different domains. So unless and until you prove your experience, even if you have cleared your exam, you won't get the certificate. So getting that certificate obviously showcase an employer or potential employer that yes, you have proven yourself. Okay. And if you have any degree or any course behind that, would definitely help. Short-term courses range from 1 month, 6 month, 12 months, 2 years, which can also include internship. So they're obviously very helpful because you get to know, like a round robin fashion, you go into a corporate if they're offering an internship. I would suggest, if anybody's get an internship opportunity anywhere in security, do check out 6 months. You know, you, like I mentioned, in round robin fashion, you would be doing, I hope you would be doing multiple tasks, working with different people, leaders, and everyone. So this would help you. And yeah, I mentioned all sort of courses and everything. If you're really interested, do check out, explore these options. Now, the one with the yellow box you see is something that comes out of the corporate job. If you go, these are the titles. These are not mandatory that I said I will get consultant only. No, these are the options which come out when you go through this path. You might be selected as an analyst, consultant, somebody into operations, security operations, or identity access management operation, as a pen tester, as an engineer, security engineer, or a security architect. The beauty of cybersecurity is the variety of career paths available, and this is just a glimpse of it. These are common entry points. There can be any other. In any organization, analyst can be called as an engineer, and there can be consultant, senior, junior, or operation senior. So it doesn't actually matter, but I'm just telling you, these are the jobs available. Moving on to the next, I will quickly go through because there's a lot of text. I just don't want to read and make it like a classroom kind of scenario where I've just read and where you pay attention, you don't pay attention, but try to analyze yourself that what are the entry point as a security analyst. I would just mention this is a kickstarting point. You can join an organization after you've done your graduate, master's, short-term course as an associate, as an analyst 1, 2, 3, junior analyst, or whatever. But this is an open position where you just enter into the corporate. They If you go as an analyst, there are high chances that you will monitor security systems, suspicious activity. You will try to learn around a lot of other uh, domains before becoming a subject matter expert. So first 3 years are definitely more on the learning side. You understand tools, how reporting is done, and other area. You can also work on specific area like network, endpoint, laptops, or even cloud. So yeah, let's see if you join as a SOC member. So entry point as a SOC member. SOC member, I mentioned Security Operations Center, the people who are into threat management or incident management. They monitor policy violation, they support audit activity, they work around with different stakeholders. Uh, Same usual points. They work on the data recovery backup, access issues, provisioning, termination of access, review of access. So they basically want to work on the response plan. Still, if you're not getting to but where this presentation is going on, just remember the terms, the designation, security engineer. Go check out security engineer job in IT security or in cybersecurity. You will get the similar details. You will get what are the prerequisite, how many years of experience, what are the graduation, post-graduation requirements. This is gonna help you. If you go as a security engineer, I think it's more or less, not more or less, but it's on the same level of an analyst, but here you do more sort of technical job. Okay, you work on the systems actually, like IDS, firewall, intrusion prevention systems, or data leakage preventions, or you perform security assessment. Anything that protects actual infrastructure, you work as a security engineer on that. Now, very interesting, very high paying, and very technological advanced field is becoming a pen tester. Pen tester is not actual pen, it's a penetration tester. So once we do a gap test, like a vulnerability assessment of our network, we try to find gaps. We understand what are the loopholes and we try to exploit. We means a pen tester try to exploit that loophole and verify whether it is allowing me to enter the corporate or not, or into the system or not. So this provides you finding. These findings are used for regulatory purposes, for legal purposes, to prove your audit. It is very, very important. Some of the standard like PCI DSS, it mandates you to perform a pen test twice a year. So it comes as a contractual obligation. You should have pen test. So pen testers are high in demand. So it's there. I have met one pen tester who was self-taught. He was just a graduate. He was from Germany. He did everything by himself. 6 years, 7 years, he was doing small projects with everyone, but he learned everything online and all. So I've seen one person, evolving as a self-taught, but there are multiple courses, multiple way you can establish your own computing environment in your home, your machines, and you can just play around and have a look how things are going on. Obviously, this role requires very strong technical skills, knowledge of getting into system, which is also called hacking, and techniques to effectively test and verify the vulnerability. Vulnerability means the gaps. Okay. So many points. This is I think more of a senior role. This is more important for a person who has joined this presentation and has, plus 5 years, 7 or 8 years of experience, and they think of transitioning to the IT security role. This requires a vast knowledge of, kind of designing, implementing, managing, basically a subject matter expert on IT infrastructure or any other not application, I would say, any of these services in an organization. So being a security architecture is basically security by design. When you're designing, when you're deploying, so you put security baked in. You just don't use it as a toffee wrapper. You don't want to make something and then you think, oh, I forgot to implement security, so I will bolt on security. As a security architect, you will bake security from day one till the project finishes. So this is definitely not for freshers or somebody who is just willing to start his career in this. Yeah, but good for transitioning from one role to another. Now, some of you might think these are the only entry points. No, there are other entry points. If I just keep saying we would need more than 2+ hours. So there are also options of IT auditor, somebody who comes from a commercial accounting background, they can become an IT auditor also using, systems. There are different certifications like CISA, CSAM, which help you to audit, information systems. You can become a trainer. I mentioned this earlier also. A trainer is a good opportunity, and digital forensic is something which is booming, but on a slow pace. But it is an upcoming thing. A lot of legal houses, data recovery companies, big fours, consulting companies, they want forensic investors, and a lot of investigation and state-run agency, both in India and abroad. They have a good option. Now, to be successful in this career, I've understood everything as a listener. Now, how should I start? I want to start right now. What is this I can do? So getting started is something you can do is develop your soft skill is communication, collaboration skill, which will help you to work as a team because it's not an individual job. You should be able to do individually, contribute individually. But again, it would be much helpful as you have a team player. And for that, you should be knowledgeable. So here are some of the certifications which I've mentioned. You can go for Security Plus, CompTIA Plus. None of them are free, obviously, but you can go back. You can build your own lab. You can participate in online courses or short-term courses offered by different service providers if they're relevant. You can meet or how would I say, network with security professionals. You can look for internships. Next is, what are the actual resources if I want to verify or view as a security consultant, or I want to kickstart my career. So all this which I mentioned, you can take a snapshot of it. These are all mostly public. They're in public domain. They are free resources. You won't be getting a job just reading this, but this is a very important thing if you are doing a job or if you are going to get a job. So go through this. These talk about web application security. They talk about certifications. They talk about latest development in security. They also talk about different frameworks from mobile and what all security, how security is evolving in all the areas. In the last one, National Institute of Standards and Technology is something which I also keep on referring, because they release latest standards and everything. There are other which I forgot to mention, but they will consume more space. Is something related to cloud security, which can also look into. It's also booming, but you should obviously have some prior knowledge in cloud, computing. We have came to end of this presentation, and I would like to ponder upon the conclusion. Uh, by now, I have just forced you to. You can, I've forced multiple times that honing your skills, staying curious, continuously learning. You can build a successful career and a fulfilled career. But you have to think: do you really want this career? It is a necessity of the modern day, and it definitely requires manpower. It is not something that AI going to, take over at least for next 10 years. So why ask? I'm just a question to everyone: that why not to upskill yourself and contribute? Together we can make a better place. Together we can work and improve our cybersecurity, our personal security, what we do online, how we are present online, and for the organization we are working for. That's all I have for today. Thank you for attention. Thank you for staying here, and I hope you enjoyed. I now go on mute, and Ashwara, it's up to you now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Does anybody has any question? You can post it in the Q&A box. We just had one question, that why not entry level jobs is not for freshers. I could see always entry level jobs needs 4 to 8 years of experience in cybersecurity.
Okay. Yes, there has been some sort of anomaly where people have posted, okay, this is an entry level job and it's asking for 10 years or 4 years of experiences. Uh, I would, if I were you, I would have definitely looked. If that's the case, I would have looked for internship opportunities. I would have said, because I just cannot stay back thinking that they are not offering. Internship is something, if you get even for free and you're really interested in getting security, I would recommend to go for free. Just get your kickstart your career or build some project online. We cannot dictate what organization asks as a prerequisite. So it's not in my hand or your hand. So better what we can do, we should focus on that.
I hope that answers your question. Anybody else has any question? All right. I believe nobody has any question, but even if you do, you can reach out to us via our different channels that we have. And it was an enlightening session, definitely. And whatever Abhishek has told us, if you want to learn that in depth, then I would recommend you to join a cybersecurity course, that is a PG diploma in cybersecurity by IIT Jammu. And you can embark on a journey towards a thriving career in this domain. This comprehensive 12-month program offers over 350 hours of live online learning, ensuring you gain hands on experience and in depth knowledge from IIT Jammu experts. Our intense program will give you the opportunity to master the cutting edge skills with curriculum that includes dark web penetration testing, malware analysis, cryptography, as Abhishek mentioned, intrusion detection system, as again mentioned by Abhishek. And there's many more to the list, right? And you will also get hands-on experience with industry-relevant tools like Burpsuit, Nmap, Hatchping, Hashcat, to name a few. And you will also get an opportunity to explore the IIT Jammu campus and network with your peers and your faculties that you will be learning throughout the 12 months during a 5-day campus immersion in IIT Jammu. And you will not only get the diploma from IIT Jammu, but you will also get to become an alumni of IIT Jammu, adding a feather to your cybersecurity hat. So I would recommend you to embark on your journey to become a cybersecurity expert. Everything that Abhishek mentioned about in this uh, webinar is completely covered in our program, and I think our program is something that you really should check out. And if you like it, do enroll for our program. And if you have, I have pasted the link for our program on the chat. You can go ahead, you can check it out, and you can enroll for the program if you like it, if you feel that this is the right fit for you. And thank you so much, Abhishek. This has been a really enlightening session. This was amazing. I think everything that you have covered in depth has given, I think, a clearer picture for everybody. And I think the entry points and everything that you have mentioned has covered everything. And I would, we have a question. I would like to take that up. So I'll read it out for you. I am working as a technical product manager with 17 years experience, and I want to shift to cybersecurity as a consultant. How is career growth and pay package in the industry?
So I am obviously not aware of the current um, pay scale you are on, and would definitely not like to on this uh, platform. But the pay package and everything is very, I would say, it's promoting. It's not stagnant. That's all I can say. For you with that sort of experience, obviously, I have seen positions on director level or senior architect level, which obviously pays very well. It again depends on, are you going to be part of a consulting organization which pays well, and I'm not sure whether with the promotion cycle. Are you going to be a part of the industry, like a product-based company? They pay very well, but they have some different promotion in other cycle. Are you going to go abroad and go there where the starting salary is more than what anybody's getting here? So it differs. Only I can just not guarantee. I can just say you it's very dynamic and it's promoting. It's not going to be stagnant.
I hope that answers your question, Keshav. So thank you so much, Abhishek, for your time. And thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for being so attentive. Thank you so much for being there throughout and listening to what uh, our speaker had to say. So thank you so much, everybody. And stay tuned. We keep hosting these wonderful webinars. So you can check out the updates on our different channels. And hoping to see you guys in another webinar. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Ashwarya. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye bye.